Welcome to the Empowered Entrepreneur, where strategy meets soul and leadership means more than just titles. Now, if you're a fractional director or you're thinking about stepping into a fractional career, this is for you. Because here's the truth, no one tells you. You're not just bringing a skill set. You're switching gears constantly. You're juggling clients and you're pushing for influence without a full-time seat. And you're rebuilding authority every single time you walk into a new organization. Now, most people I work with say the same thing. I spend more time proving my value than actually delivering it. And in reality, that's the grind, and it gets old really fast. That's what I help fix. Not just tighten your offer, not just helping you own your strategic seat, but building a stable revenue-driven model that protects your time, your energy, and your leadership. Because let's face it, there are some very real challenges in the fractional world that don't get talked about enough. So in this video, we're going to talk about it. So let's get into it. So first off, you've got the pressure of time, availability, and management. Everyone wants your strategic input, and they want it now. So immediately boundaries can blur and burnout creeps in. If you don't have a firm handle on your calendar, your energy and your priorities, something or someone is going to pay for it. And usually that's you. Then there's the conflicting priorities. You see, you're working across different businesses that have different or at times even competing interests. And that is not easy. And it ends up with you being diluted and pulled in many directions. And if you're not clear on the scope, on confidentiality, and on communication, you risk your reputation. Next is a big one, cultural integration. As a fractional leader, you don't get the luxury of having time to settle in. You're expected to land, integrate, and lead all with one foot in and one foot out. And that can limit your influence. It can make change hard. But with the right onboarding process, rhythm, and intentional relationship building, you can start creating impact in week one. Credibility and authority. Let's be honest, as a part-time leader, not everyone sees you as real leadership. You don't have the title, you're not at every meeting. At times, you're treated like a consultant, or sometimes someone says, that contractor. Now, this is where your ego can creep in, and you start to overcompensate. You even at times push harder, because you feel the need, you've got to try and prove yourself every single time. But the most powerful fractional leaders I know don't fight for authority. What they do is that they build and focus on trust. They create quick wins. They operate with strategic clarity and humility. They align themselves with full-time leadership instead of competing with it. And that's how you own the room without needing the badge. Then the staying current. When you're spread across industries, staying sharp is a job in itself. Your strategy gets shallow if you spread too thin. That's why it pays to narrow your lane. Choose clients with shared needs, shared rhythms. Go an inch wide and a mile deep every time. Now, we can't ignore the financial side because income stability can be rocky, especially in the beginning. A project ends, a contract shifts, and if you're not building a reliable pipeline and securing long-term engagements, you're constantly in sales mode. But if you're delivering results and building a referral network and have solid terms, you can move from chasing work to choosing it. And then there's the legal stuff. You see, a lot of people forget, even as a fractional director, you still carry a fiduciary responsibility. And you're on the hook for decisions for your governance. That's why you need to know legal lines, have the right insurance, and never underestimate your liability just because you're not full-time. Now, context switching. What do I mean? Well, the constant onboarding, the new tools, the new people, the new systems, it's mentally exhausting and it chips away at your strategic depth. So what's the fix? What you do is standardize your onboarding process. Define your scope up front. Make clarity your first deliverable. This isn't just a role, it's a discipline, it's a mindset. You're not executing, you're leading. And the real shift comes when you stop thinking like a service provider and start acting like a strategic partner. Here's the twist. The biggest thing that undermines your impact isn't time or scope or contracts. It's your ego. Not the loud kind, but the subtle kind. The part of you that panics when your authority isn't instantly respected. The part that pushes too hard to prove you belong. The part that confuses visibility with value. You see, the ego is really sneaky. It tells you you need to control everything, to say yes to everything, to measure your worth by how busy you are. And in this fractional world where you're constantly starting over, it's easy to let that voice run wild. But here's the truth. Ego doesn't scale and it definitely doesn't lead. The real CEO of your career, especially a portfolio one, has to be your higher self. The version of you that leads from purpose, not from performance. The one that can walk into any room without the title and still command trust. Because when you lead from your higher self, you stop chasing validation. You start creating a vision and you stop proving. You start serving and you build businesses, yours, your clients, that run deep, last longer and grow faster. So if you're going fractional or already are, remember, you're not just selling time, you're selling transformation. You're not just delivering skills, you're delivering strategic value. And the faster you internalize that, the more powerful, profitable, and sustainable your portfolio career becomes. Listen, thanks for tuning in to The Empowered Entrepreneur. If this landed with you, like it, share it with someone thinking about a fractional leap, and make sure you're building your career on purpose, not just reacting to the next opportunity. Lead with clarity, lead with courage, and lead far beyond your ego. See you next time.